got 4 microphones instead of 2 on this one, so I'll use this one for myself and then go that table. Just not forget it. I've done that a couple of times with my
start, or do you want to?
I'm okay with waiting until 6:10, so 5 minutes.
Are you okay with that?
Since it hasn't started, can I ask you something?
By all means.
You said the thing about the Gaylord. Isn't the Gaylord owned by the Port of San Diego? That revenue would still go to Chula Vista?
I don't know what the contract is with the Gaylord in the city, but generally at the hotels and stuff like that, here in the city limits, a lot of the tax revenue and stuff that's generated would actually go to the city because it's within the city, is my understanding. Good news is there's a lawyer right there for the city.
I was just wondering.
I haven't seen the contract either, but I'm pretty sure the tax revenue comes to the city.
Yeah, so like the tourism taxes, stuff like that, that hypothetically, I believe all goes to the city. So yeah, now that we've got one good hotel on the west of Chula Vista, and I think 2 east, like way out in Otay. There's like a Residence Inn and one other.
Yeah. Airs.
Airs is definitely one of them.
So, but I would love to actually try to get more events in Chula Vista.
Our police and fire support that building too, just so you know.
You just want to gavel.
I am unreasonably excited about the gavel. Even when I was the president at Chula Vista Elementary, I didn't get a gavel. So like this is my very first gavel. Okay.
I brought my shoes on set. I'm gonna be old man.
Yes, wrap on the table as needed, sir. Okay. I hereby call this meeting of the Chula Vista Cultural Arts Commission to order at 6:06 p.m. All right, that's probably the only time I use it tonight. Okay, welcome everybody, and thank you all for coming. We love having quorum; it's our favorite. Can I please have a roll call?
I am no longer secretary. We have a new secretary from moving forward.
Oh my gosh.
Clerks.
Nice to meet everyone.
Okay. So, just to clarify, you'll still be here
I understand.
under our staff, but you will be doing all the secretarial
Yes.
type duties.
Yes,
Fantastic, thank you so much.
I will give you roll call. Commissioner Echeverria? Here. Commissioner Cozy?
Here.
Commissioner Maroka? Absent. Commissioner Ruffalo? Here. Commissioner Sabla,
Here.
and Sheriff Bishop.
Present. Do we have four?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if, was
There's only
that,
one more of us.
was that?
We're missing one person.
So are we, so is it, the quorum is based on 5 rather than the total amount of
Yes.
potential people?
Correct.
I like that about us. Great, okay. All right, we move on to number 3, public comments. The public may address the commission on any subject matter within the commission's jurisdiction that is not listed as an item on the agenda. State law generally prohibits the commission from discussing or taking action on any issue not included on the agenda. The commission may schedule the topic for future discussion or refer the matter to staff. Do we have any public comments?
We did not receive any electronic comments or any written communications. However, we do have a public speaker here
Okay,
present, and that is Robert.
thank you. I call on Robert.
Appreciate the timer.
Excellent.
Good. Okay. Cultural Arts Commission. You know, I do my little start. Say thank you guys for showing up. You're all volunteers, and it's important that we have quorum, like you were saying, so we can have these meetings and handle the city's business. You know, I don't know how much you guys track the city events and potential upcoming stuff that we should be advertising as a city. And I'd just like to raise your attention that the Lemon Festival, that's going to be next Saturday, is still not even on the city calendar. And the reason why I bring it up to you guys specifically is because throughout the years they've done arts at the event. And I think it's very important that we're advertising that event properly through our own channels that cost nothing, you know, and getting that word out to the people locally. So like I said, you know, these are just things that I noticed, and I try to share that idea of different events that need to be advertised on the city's calendar, that we can all work together to make sure that the community is aware of it, right? And then going into, oh my gosh, talked about that. Wow. Like slipped right out as soon as I was talking about this one. Oh, okay. CityCast, right? And they just had a new podcast for the city come out, right? You know this way. Do I share information so we all can work together and share that further? But what they're doing is they're taking department heads and then putting them on a podcast to further clarify with the community on certain things that that department is doing. And in the last episode, they highlighted Parks and Rec. Now, you know, for better or for worse, everything that was said in the podcast was said at one of like these meetings, right? And so I encouraged him, why did you forget to tell the public about the meeting? And so, you know, this little bit to Erwin, I appreciate you, is that maybe when you go on the podcast, we can remind people to come to these meetings and engage with the commissioners. Because that's just like tonight, we have an audience tonight. I'm hoping we build more of a community audience, and then I'm not the only one speaking at the meetings, you know? So I appreciate this time. I'll go ahead and let my 30 seconds go. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Moving on to number 4 of the agenda, presentations. The following item will be a presentation given to the commission. Action on this item is typically limited to the commission receiving the presentation and providing direction or feedback to staff as appropriate. 4.1, presentation on the feasibility of establishing a poet laureate program, presented by Erwin Magbana, principal librarian. Recommended action, here in the presentation.
So this will be brief. If you recall, a few years ago, there was a recommendation by the commission to look into the poet laureate program. And I think it was a couple years ago, I did start looking into it and trying to find an equivalent for Chula Vista. I did find that the Hayward Library about 10 years ago adopted a poet laureate program for their city through their library. And it was a 2-year program, 2-year commitment from the poet laureate. And they would create and read poetry at city events. They would do poetry programs and do workshops. And I think that's just sort of like a refresher, like what we had discussed, what we all had discussed. And they were looking at about $500 to $1,000 per year for the poet laureate. And so that that was something to kind of consider. I put it forward to my supervisors, and it just so happens that the Oceanside Public Library reached out last year saying, hey, I heard you all are thinking about a vocabulary program because we're going to be doing ours too. And so they ended up in December adopting a resolution to have their poet laureate. Theirs is the first, besides the city of San Diego, to have a poet laureate program. And their poet laureate is being paid $5,000 from their city funds. And so the discussion was then, if that's what is considered the city of Chula Vista, we may have to because it is quite a cost. That's kind of like the market value right now for something to use for that much. Pretty sure the city of Chula Vista is going to have to kind of come close to that. Right? Don't have the money for it. It is a lot to pay the poet laureate for something like that we do want. And so, also, I did something like that. They started in 2020. So, it's to establish poet laureate programs. And yeah, basically my presentation is right now we can't afford it. So it's going to be.
Does anybody have any questions for yes.
Do we know what's the economic impact or benefit towards the city so that it doesn't cost kind of a federal grant or something like that?
What I've seen is coming from the general funds. The kind of the issue with finding grants for something like kind of there aren't a lot of grant opportunities for something like that for us. We get grant opportunities for different things. Poet laureate that we do still try to see funding sources grants, but it's very
The positive impact exceeds $5,000.
poet laureate programs. It's not so much the economic impact as much as the educational.
Well, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
like-
The impact exceeds 5,000. So engaging people, stuff like that. Well, that's now making this a resource that's not being wasted. Essentially, it's $5,000 in marketing. Essentially, so city right. I don't know.
The first thing that could we not, in the future, obviously not this time, but in the future, seek out funds from PBAG.
So PBAG, and we did use that post-pandemic, but
We don't have enough.
yeah, because of the low amount of funding, we have to use that for grant awardees. And so we have to kind of hold on
What's the legality of?
That's kind of beyond my scope.
It's fine.
When it comes to like, when it comes to small, I
That'd be awesome.
Have any kind of funding at all for arts. Like,
Actually, that's a good.
Actually, so the city grant fund. City fund.
right, exactly. The idea of trying to connect arts benefactors
Yeah.
with potential artist situations.
very friends of partner.
I mean, ostensibly,
That's the 501c3 situation.
right. So then the question becomes like, as we're just giving advice to the city council, ostensibly, like how can we fit into the reality of a funded situation, right? But like, how do we create something that might be within that? That's the question.
Where approach local businesses to
Right.
create.
We as artists and representatives for this commission are ambassadors in our community for the arts, right? So I would love to find more opportunities. At this point, we're just hearing the presentation, because it's a presentation, not an action item. So, but if we want to put what we, so we're not doing anything. Welcome to, this is what bureaucracy looks like. But thank you for the presentation. Are there any further that can look into those questions? That would be appreciated. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to number 5. Minutes. Recommended action. Approve the minutes 2026 and May 6th, 2026.
Well, before I motion to approve minutes, was there a public
Yes,
request?
Is there?
there is a public
Oh, okay.
request.
Trying to be down the street.
Very good vice chair.
It's okay, yeah. Good vice chair. Is there one speaker?
Yes.
Okay, great. So helpful.
Yes.
That's so that I can see it too. Like, so that,
It's more important.
yeah, definitely said it, but like flat so that the eyeballs can see it. Sorry, I just.
Yeah.
Like, if he is out of time, I want to.
Run the meeting.
No,
I agree with you.
I'll
Yeah.
have a little time as well.
Work out.
Put a little time.
Yeah, in reviewing this, the minutes, right? Obviously, I'm not trying to be a, and so whether that is a spoken thing or an unspoken thing, it was in the meeting minutes, and I just wanted to reflect upon, you know, the whole situation. Obviously, and I think that you know, as a community to come together to the point that I've been trying to push forward with all this, so that way that when the community come here, all the paperwork, consent calendar is meant for the approval of the absences, the meeting minutes to be done in, you know, at a pace that's set by. And so, you know, I do appreciate the city and staff. I don't want to leave out staff because, you know, he helps a lot, and I appreciate you, Irvin. But in moving boards and commissions, and so, you know, I need to talk about it now during the action item, which I think should be a consent calendar. But like I said, I think slowly but surely I'll work my way through ADB. And so, you know, any support with that, I greatly appreciate it. As far as the meeting minutes, you know, I think the great meeting without going into drama details and other things with it, right? Ms. Brady resigned, and that if it was recognized or not recognized at this meeting, I at least said something. I'm sure you guys are all aware of it anyways. There's that join, and I hope we're not trying to hold up, start to move forward with some of these appointments that have been held up. So, you know, thank you for my time, and I hope we can, you know, agree to disagree, right? And have good meetings. So thank you.
I just have a clarification question. Did you say that it was, or you're saying you wanted it acknowledged in this meeting?
Well, I didn't know between the two meetings when we lose a commissioner.
It was announced publicly, and it didn't happen when you were elected.
Okay.
Where was it announced publicly? Because
There was a.
I just found out.
Oh, there's a on the board outside of City Hall. There was an opening on the Arts Commission that was.
Commissioners, we don't get that notification.
I have commissioners and trustees resigning.
I didn't actually find out until the award thing I got the other day from the city, and I saw the commissioner's list. I was like, well, where's Commissioner Brady? Oh, she was on.
Going to be in my chair's comments, but spoiler alert, Robert. Okay. Okay. Okay, it has been moved by Vice Chair Kosi and seconded by Commissioner Sablan to approve the minutes on the minutes. All right, hearing none, let us take the.
Record of Commissioner Posey not used to having commissions with.
You
Yeah.
I think she should.
Someone was
Second.
second, correct? Sorry. Oh, okay. So,
I don't know.
I apologize. Let's start all over again.
Yeah,
No,
I just,
rock and roll.
this is all learning experience.
Yeah. For all of us. Okay. Commissioner Folo. Commissioner.
The minutes stand election of chair and vice chair. Recommended action, elect chair and vice chair. So I assume that we have to get elected again or in our new fiscal year. Okay. So well, I'm willing to start another term if you'll have me as chair.
Yeah, I want to do it.
Now that I would love to serve again if you'll have me.
I'm happy with that. Chair or vice chair, if you guys are happy. On the job?
Yeah, step up.
I'm vice chair, not chair.
It's like all official, like, are there any more nominations for chair? Going once, going twice. Chair nominations are closed. Is there any going 3 times closed? Okay, so we have to, so I win by default. So we will have a vote for, do you guys want to speak on behalf of your candidacy?
That was really different capacity. So that there's, I can do a better job. It's being more involved. Not to serve different capacities. I fully support you too. So
Last time is, you know, I'm consistently here. Also, it's, you know, I love serving the community. Full-time hours. So, trying to, share that with the commission. Do full-time hours here.
It depends on how you define arts. Conversation around it. I'm going to actually abstain so that there is an uneven number of votes. So let's take the. So all in favor of Commissioner Sablon, please say aye.
So, yeah. But I think I'm
I'm gonna have to resign from the commission. My daughter's law classes are Tuesday through Thursday.
Oh, gosh.
So
As of right now, yeah, I know, we're sad to lose, but we're really proud of it.
well, I don't, can you leave even though waiting in the queue that recently applied, right? So I'm just.
But since you served particular vote, so
Probably then. No offense to Lee, because I love Lee, I love your heart. My concern is if they do.
okay. So let's see how dramatic this day is gonna get.
I will for Lee. Wait,
Roll call vote. Do a roll call vote.
Because it's not. Okay. So,
Well, I mean,
that's true.
Commissioner Posey?
Commissioner Felix.
Commissioner Lopez is absent. Commissioner Polo?
So much. Okay.
You wanted to learn more.
And I abstain from the vote.
And I am so amicable.
Okay. Well, it sounds, the motion passes. Commissioner Sablon is going to, starting at the next meeting.
I'm sorry you wasted the emails.
No, he's not
wasting.
You have service.
Happy to serve.
Anyway, I'm excited to serve with you. It has been a pure joy to serve with you. Thank you, Commissioner Posey. Okay,
Worst case scenario, both of you are gone, so
there you go.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah,
has happened.
that is absolutely true. He definitely gets best attendance. All right, moving forward. So for the minutes, our chair going forward is Commissioner Bishop. Our vice chair is Commissioner Sablon. 5.3, authorize the chair to work with staff to finalize and submit the annual activities report for fiscal year 2025-26. Recommended action, authorize the chair to work with staff to finalize and submit the annual activities report.
So every year, every fiscal year, there is an annual activity report, if you aren't aware. And so as you'll see in the minutes, or if you have the agenda packet, there is a draft of the activities. Basically, the activities are a summary of the action items that the commission made for that fiscal year. And this is basically just you all, what was the action? They just authorize the chair to work with me to finalize it. Not now, but, moving forward. That's it.
Okay.
Motion
Are
to
there-
approve.
Are there any,
All right,
Are
any
there
public
any
comments on
things-
this? There we go.
yeah,
Public comments for.
okay, there's no public comments.
Okay.
Are there any, as you have all been able to read it, the activities log, is there anything missing that stands out to anybody?
This goes to city council, right? This is what, this,
Yes.
yeah, so the main audience for this is city council. So
Mhm.
this is what they end up reviewing.
Great. Any glaring omissions? Sure.
It's not
Yeah,
about the draft, it's not about the, it's more the authorizing of the chair. The draft could be like.
Adjusted.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
we
you
can
and I
talk.
will work on it. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying if anybody has anything
Okay,
right now,
got it,
so
got
that we can know that for.
Got it.
when we talk. You don't see any omissions?
No, I was just gonna say, I can't see without my glasses.
Oh, gosh.
I
Was,
forgot my glasses.
so I don't know if this would be commissioner comments section or not, but something that I don't see in here was I had asked about potentially approaching the city council about recommending policy that if something like the Gaylord or a hotel or a major development is done, that any art that they exhibit in the buildings and stuff actually come from the community. Which when I mentioned that to the Gaylord, the Marriott people like went nuts over the idea because it immediately turned one of their buildings into a local art museum, a local art gallery. And so they were excited by the idea. And they actually really wished that a city had something like that.
I'll review the minutes again, because I got this purely from the minutes, the action items
Right.
and what was voted on. Yeah, I'll take a look.
Because that would be a cool thing if we can follow up on that.
That sounds like an excellent thing to suggest for a future meeting agenda item to discuss, to actually have, so that we have it for.
It was a while ago. We had to follow up with the city council. And
Right.
I remember. I've been pushing for that for.
No,
about
I
a year and a half.
remember, I just thought it was always in commissioner comments. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, we'll check it out. Thank you for that. Are there any other thoughts? Okay, so then we're going to vote on, would someone like to move to authorize me to work with staff to finalize and submit the annual activities report? Is there a motion on the floor for that?
Motion to approve.
Okay. Okay, it has been moved by Vice Chair Tosi and seconded by Commissioner Sablan to authorize the chair to work with staff to finalize and submit the annual activities report. Any further discussion?
Just really fast though, can we add, because I see that we've actually got here, commission recommends, commission recommends, commission recommends. Can we include commission recommends that art, you know, how we want to word it? We had a thing with the whole wording process we went through a couple months back.
Okay,
How
so
to word it.
because this is something I'm going to be working with Erwin on, so you can say to me when we actually submit it, that he and I include that.
Yep,
in
just
here.
however you guys wordsmith it,
Right.
I would love that in there.
Okay, so you would like to include in your motion
Mm-hmm.
to authorize the chair to work with staff to finalize and submit the annual activities report with an addendum including recommendation of policy to city council, including local art use for, sorry?
Well, the local art used for major development projects.
Right, that was the end of
And
the
then,
sentence.
for example.
No, we're gonna keep it cleaner than that. We have a secretary, she's writing it down. So, with an addendum of recommending to city council the development of a policy for new developments that include local art.
I do, it is actually in last minutes as a commission comment.
Okay.
Just
Cool, okay, so. If there are no further discussions on that motion, can you read it back? Can you read back the motion to me, please? Just to make sure.
Motion to confuse the deputy city clerk.
Motion with an addendum to add recommendation of policy to city council to use local art used for major development projects.
Great. Okay, so the first part of the motion is still to authorize the chair of local body. Okay, great. Okay. Can you please take the vote?
Commissioner Posey,
Aye.
Commissioner Maroka is absent. Commissioner Rucola,
Aye.
Commissioner Sablan,
Aye.
and Chair Bishop.
Aye. Great. Motion passes. 5.4, 2026 Performing Visual Arts Grant Review Panel Recommendations to City Council. receive the panel's recommendations and take action as appropriate. If you look at the extra piece of paper, I'm pretty sure that Erwin will tell us more.
Well, thank you to the commissioners who helped review the applications. These 5 were the ones that we were selected for recommendation to City Council. I think they're a nice reflection of the diversity of the different types of arts projects that were put forward. As you already know, this was a tough one because of the extremely limited funding we had this year. I really wish we had more, really wish we had more because there were some other projects in there that were just as deserving. And so it is with a little bit of a broken heart that we, put this list of recommendations forward for City Council. But we do have a nice 5 of them, not like before where we have more than 5. As you can see, the first one is a Marte through art. It's workshops for using art as towards mental health and healing. And then out of the studio open walls is a participation type of mural project that's going to be held at Casa Casillas. Public Commons brass ensemble performances will be at our parks. That we do. It's a West Wind brass band that we do a variety of different types of musical performances. Roots and Blossoms, which is a student-led youth art exhibit that's going to take place at Casa Casillas. It will be developed by the teachers who submitted the application. It sounds really cool. And lastly, Un Día de Muertos to be everywhere for everyone. This is from the San Diego Museum of Art. And they will be putting together a day of dead altar installations through Children's Elementary School District, displayed at Casa Casillas and Children's City Hall this year in November. So we're looking forward to these, and it's really well to take a look at them. Every year, PPAG award winners are very exciting. We've actually just wrapped up our last project, and so yeah, it's been good.
So if I,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Amarty Healing Through Art, I actually have a request on that one. One of the students that I brought into San Diego Comic-Con, actually from Chula High School's SCPA program, he's a senior there, Romeo. He's actually decided he wants to pursue therapeutic art as a major, right? This would be perfect for him to observe. Is it possible to get information on that or something that I can forward to him? Yeah. That if he's going to have one, would be a great thing for him. Yeah, I just think it would be a good opportunity for a student observer, essentially.
Yeah, go ahead.
He is a senior. Okay.
So I was wondering, are these artists individuals or are these groups?
So the Market Healing Through Art is, I think she is working with the team, but she's the teaching artist. Out of the studio, similar, there's an artist who is leading the project and will be promoting the event. But he is also working with the team. Brass ensemble performances is a band. Roots and Blossoms, same thing. A lot of this, I'm realizing, is collaborative. The San Diego Museum of Art, they do have a lead person who is doing it, and he has experience doing these types of installations already. So yeah, these are kind of like, they're kind of a blend of artists and teachers and project managers, and so that's what we're looking at here.
And they're going to be engaging with the public, correct?
What was that?
They're going to be engaging with the public.
Oh, yeah,
young
that
kids
is-
and things like that.
That's definitely one of the things that we require.
So the reason why I bring that up, and I was actually on my phone when you asked me, Karina, because I was looking up, I was trying to find the article that I had read. Not sure if that was one that Robert posted about an artist at Casa Casillas who was found to have inappropriate artwork of himself, I believe on his or her Instagram page. So I was just wondering, like, what is the vetting process to make sure that the minors are safe and you know, some of those concerns.
City
'Cause
staff
For me,
are-
I would be
yeah.
concerned as a
The
parent.
city staff are always, you know, we ensure that, that we also tell the artists that as part of the exhibit part of our exhibit policy is that they understand that this is, that our public facilities have people coming in of all ages. And that, and I mean, honestly, we have to, if anything is publicly displayed that is considered obscene, we do have to take it down as part of our exhibit policy. That is, law by law, we have to take down anything that's considered like, you know, as obscene.
But I don't, was this being displayed publicly, or was this on his
We,
Instagram page?
we do not display publicly anything
Right.
like that. If an artist has something of questionable nature that they put on their Instagram, we have no control over that. What we do have control over is our facilities and what they have, if, what the facilities, and we will definitely address it.
So, that's a very good call, by the way. I wasn't even thinking about that. For the awards, as I was going through the vetting, or that, just kind of reading through it, there were so many amazing people. I couldn't even pick.
Yeah.
But what I found myself doing was trying to research them. And some of them were already past recipients,
Yeah.
but there was no documentation of, is there a way that we could, as part of this, to kind of take photos or something that says, look, we got this grant, and here's what we did with that, because it was just, I was a former grant recipient, but when you go back to their website or any of the things, they don't show that. And so it really is a missed opportunity to really kind of show the power of grants and what it's doing for the community.
That's a good point. The Create Chula Vista grant required them to have the logo of Create Chula Vista, right, somewhere displayed in their thing.
Yeah.
Does the PDAG have the same requirements?
They do.
Okay.
And they're supposed to, whenever they post anything, they have to, we tell them they have to tag. Some need a little bit more of a push. But yes, I have to regularly remind recipients to not forget to credit the city, and to tag the city when they do it, and to do correct hashtags.
It could be even something ahead of time, so it's almost like part of the,
Anytime you promote it.
yeah. Or I mean, where do we promote it on our website, or that way we can see the organizations, here are all the logos of people, organizations that we've helped reach X many people at Chula Vista. I mean, it's just a wonderful program. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. It doesn't seem like we're maximizing on the story.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things we need to kind of, that's why we ask for those tags, and it's, and I hear you, and I understand what you're trying to get at. It is something we have to kind of like look at on. There are, as a department, we do have a lot of programs, and a lot of things that kind of, the sheer volume of things is something that we have to kind of like think about. We can't even, it's hard even doing it for the Casa Casilla stuff, which I'll talk about. But yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to be able to get to that goal of like, honoring what we've done in the past, and showing what PDAG has done. Okay.
Are there any other questions? Oh, yes, hi.
I have a comment. So as I was like going through all of them, it was like all amazing and like this, it was like extremely hard to just like be like a couple. But like I have a question about like the JDATA17 one. Just because like I know that San Diego Museum of Art is like involved, and I know that like they definitely have like sufficient funds. So are they like, well, would they actually be providing like part of the funds, or is it like most of those who like have the Chula Vista?
So can you ask that? So where's the funding going? I'll have to look at their
or
application.
kind of like where it's like coming from, just because like they're like the San Diego Museum of Art is like kind of like collaborating with us, and then we'll be kind of providing the funds, but will they also be providing part of the funds, or because I know that like they definitely have like sufficient funds to kind of like be part of the project, so I was just like kind of confused.
I don't know about their funding. To be honest with you, arts and all arts organizations are really struggling for funding these days, even like the big ones, even like San Diego Park, even the Globe. There is a lot of money that has been lost recently. And so, I mean, I kind of think that the reason they even reached out is because they were needing the funds. This is the first time they actually reached out to us with all, I think, in the history of PDAG, the San Diego Park, all people have asked for money. So that could be part of that story. But honestly, if the money is for an art project that takes place in the city of Chula Vista, and we budget, and that from what I saw, the budget looked like it was like really like, you know, everything was kind of like exactly what they were going to say. You know, this is for the material, this is for the artist fee, the teaching artist. Then we go with that. The other thing to kind of to consider as well is that we do ask them to submit receipts of what of their expenditures, and if we do find something that that's not eligible, we ask them to refund that money, so that is they understand that when they sign the terms and conditions of the grant, receiving the grant, is that if we do find something that is questionable, we will ask for that money back. So just, you know, that's kind of like a safe kind of safeguard for something.
But the basis of being eligible for applying for a PBAG, you have to answer 3 questions. Is it art? Is it within the the border of Chula Vista? Is that where the art is happening? And is it free and available to the public? Those are the 3 like basic things. So even if it's from, I mean, like we've had previous winners from like LA because they come down and they do something here. So the idea behind it isn't just only like, hey, we want to give Chula Vista artists an opportunity. Of course we do that as well, but we also want to encourage art creation in Chula Vista from wherever it might be coming from, if that makes sense. So like, if there's a question about like, hey, is this versus this, we probably generally list artists above, but we're ultimately looking at a project and how it will benefit the city and the people of Chula Vista. So I'm pretty sure that's, I mean, I'm personally like always going to be rooting for stuff that benefits kids and teaching them art, because that's where the love starts and it grows from there. So I'm a little biased, of course, but that's just my take.
So since you mentioned safeguards, I have one more question, circling back to my question, my concern. Are you able to put those safeguards in place for me as a parent? If I saw that an artist that is associated with my city, who's in Casa Casillas, dealing with kids, I would not let my child be around that person. I don't know if you saw the images or the art of this artist that I'm referring to, but kind of like with Miss Universe, Miss America, you know, if they pose nude or do something that they're not supposed to, they're strict of their titles. I understand we can't tell them what they can or on their personal pages, but is there something that they can agree to at least at the time being that they're working with the city and with the public, where we can say, hey, you can't post these kind of, even in your personal page, just because, I mean, that's a concern, I think.
You know, the scope of the work and what we're doing with our public art is the public art and what we have in place in terms of policy. Going beyond that, I think it's going to require something way more than what we have now, and will probably be probably a council thing. And I don't really know, to be honest with you, I don't know other organizations or municipalities. I can take a look and see, I can kind of benchmark to see like how other people do it. You know, when we go back to Oceanside, because they have such a robust arts program, their city is really rigorously involved in their arts programs. I can bring it back and see like, if there's any kind of similar, if there's something like that. I'll just say, like, you know, we have a commissioner who expressed concern about this particular topic, but right now, you know, it's something I can't answer.
Couldn't we in the evaluation process, just kind of have that as part of the criteria? Like how are they publicly, you know, and
Again, that would be a policy kind of situation, because that can go into a territory of ethics that I don't know where we go from there. because-
Ethics, and we're concerned with ethics for the artists, but not the safety of the minors.
So,
Well, if
Come
we,
in contact with
it's,
some of the artists.
there's issues of censorship and also just like of people's like personal opinions, but you know, there can be also like, what if this person's political beliefs or something that are very offensive to like a lot of people or something like that, I don't know. I'm just throwing that as an example. So we go into a territory allowing it into like a more like a personalized person, so I don't want to make those decisions, right? I'm just saying, throwing it out there, that can be the discussion that follows.
So, I wasn't gonna weigh in, but I actually have an opinion on this, and I'm a mother too, and I totally understand wanting to protect my kids. Certainly, that is my first and foremost concern for my kids, is to keep them away from like any sexual predators or whatnot. However, I also believe in the freedom of art expression, and I believe that different people have different expressions, and art is extremely subjective. And so if somebody is doing something within the scope of the work that they're doing for us, 100%, there is a level of expectation that the work that they're doing is appropriate to what our presentation is as a city. We want the art that is created for Chula Vista to reflect the morals and values of Chula Vista. I would never, ever want to have a kid walk through and see any pornographic, explicit, whatnot, that we are presenting as a city. If a person is an artist and has created things, we had a conversation like this a couple of days ago about the idea of, if you get commissioned to draw something that is more explicit, does that weigh on future projects? Like, some people feel that is correct, that, okay, if I'm going to draw pinups for work today, then that might make it so that other people don't want to hire me in the future. And I understand that that's an option, but for me, trying to look at a person's entire artistic repertoire for their entire lives, or the things that they're creating that have nothing to do with the city, I worry about us imposing censorship on an artistic body that has nothing to do with the work that they're doing with us. And I'm not afraid to introduce my kids to artists that might have drawn pinups at some point or created more explicit art in the past, because it's not part of the project that they're working on. And I believe that there's a difference between adult spaces and spaces for children, and I think that people have the ability to have a separation of those two things. That's my take on it, but that was I just wanted to say that because I really am wary of censorship in art, and I worry that as an artist and as a person who's done art my entire life, I always am concerned about today, what's okay, versus tomorrow. Like, the difference between Victorian, what's acceptable, versus Renaissance, what's acceptable, versus
Presentism.
no. What's that?
The term is presentism.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's basically, it's, 80-year-old who, looks at, a young lady today and says she's a hell of a blogger, hell of a name. Some people today would take offense to, but he's actually complimenting her because that was the verbiage and the language that he grew up with. So it's that whole thing about judging
I feel like,
based on presence or past tense.
yes, I feel like art is an exception, because I honestly would be like, yo, take it easy, brother.
I will say this about art really fast though,
Yes.
is it is required to do life drawing, which is literally in a room with 30 people studying in person and drawing and having to learn that. Now, 99% of that work is never shown publicly or anything like that, but it is posted on social media and stuff like that, because that's how people hire artists, is they gotta see what their academic abilities are.
But there's a difference between I homeschooled and my kids and I lived in art museums, and so I don't have an issue with, but then there's the artists themselves posing. It's kind of like the Miss Universe, the winner, she's posing in Playboy or whatever, in newspaper. I think there's a difference between, there's got to be some integrity, I feel like, as well for the artist. And I mean, that's just my opinion, my concern as well. But like, there's one thing, drawing or real art, and then there's another, like, posing in compromising positions and then posting that on your social media, and you're doing artwork for the city. I think there's a difference.
I do think it's like reviewing, it would be responsible of us before we approve anything like that, to actually like, look to see what type of art historically they provide, or if it is something that could potentially be, I don't know if detrimental for children, but definitely, because, again, it's subjective, but, something that would be inappropriate to display publicly, because it does have to be all, we may want to make a thing that, our projects that we fund should be all ages. And so it must be all ages friendly.
Or that is the exhibit policy. In the contracts, any public art, they have to agree to that. That it's all, that they understand it's all ages, and we will take down anything that we consider obscene.
Perfect.
Are
So is there
there
any other issues?
any other comments on the PBAT? Anybody? Okay. So hearing none, I believe that I can entertain a motion to accept the.
Sure.
Sorry, is there a comment?
We do have
Thank you. Sorry.
comment from Robert on
Thank
this
you.
item.
Thank you.
Tilt it towards him mostly. I just want a little hint of it. There we go. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can, thank you.
Perfect.
And, yeah, thanks. I do appreciate, the comment, because it wasn't to directly attack any individual, okay? The article that I wrote, like, I could show you the pose on the ground if you guys want me to do it for you, like, while you sit in art.
It's okay.
Is that okay?
No, that's-
We all have limits, right? Right.
Well,
So, if I can't do it here, it's kind of weird that he would do it at the Casa Casino. Anyways.
I could stand like the.
That's why I just brought awareness to we should be looking into people, just as people should look into me. Don't take my word for it, right? Like, but I put myself out there, so I'm also not applying for a city grant. That's the difference, right? Our individual freedom, ask him if he has free speech at work. I guarantee you he said no. He works for the city. So there's lines for everything. One thing I do want to point out, though, like we were mentioning, I would have thought it was supposed to help Chula Vistans, right, to do our projects. It's our city money, okay? And then we're giving it to the San Diego Museum of Art. I mean, they have a huge funding program already. And so when originally when this was brought up, I had advised how we had $100,000 approximately last year, and then this year we dropped down to like 36. And with less funds, instead of doing a bigger project that you're going to select the biggest person for more money because they're doing a big project, we should have helped like more of our community members to do light box or electrical box stuff, or projects of their own in the park or schools. Like the kids at the school doing the art project. I don't know everything to what the perspective for the work looks like, because I think that this document right here is lacking in a lot of what like who it is, what they're doing. It just gives you a brief 2-sentence reading, and you're supposed to interpret what they're doing with $6,000. And like I said, once I see the San Diego Museum at the bottom, I throw that one into the outsiders, not from Chula Vista, and then I see, I'm trying to keep this fair too, because I'm not against communities have representation, right? And so when I ask how many people even applied, right? And I'm trying to make a point to say, are we reaching enough people? Is our goal to get Philadelphia, San Francisco, all these artists to come to Chula Vista do art here, or is our goal to create artists in Chula Vista that can go to Philadelphia and go to those other cities and then bring what they learn back? Because I think the stepping stone for the project is not to help the most experienced person, but to help like some of the things we're saying. Thank you.
Robert, are there any further comments?
No additional comments.
Okay. All right, I will entertain a motion regarding this
Motion to approve.
as published.
As fun.
Okay, it has been moved. I feel like I'm a parrot. Just repeating the same thing over again. It is Vice Chair Cozy and Commissioner Savalan to recommend the submitted 5 project winners for the PDAG. Please take the vote.
Commissioner Kuzi?
Aye.
Commissioner Morocco is absent. Commissioner Ruffalo? Commissioner Sabla?
Aye.
Chair Bishop?
Aye. All right, it will be recommended. Moving on to number 6, staff comments.
I just want to promote that at Casa Casillas on Sunday, we are having the reception for a new exhibit there called The People Imagine. The People Imagine is an exhibit, it's an exhibit, a community exhibition celebrating the power of printmaking as a tool for civic engagement and collective storytelling. This was through a grant from the US 250 semi-quincentennial celebrations, and this is for programming that sheds light on histories, people, and stories related to the Declaration of Independence. And so this was part of that. Come and see it. It's on Sunday from 1 to 5. It's really unique because it is prints that were made through our libraries and people who were participated, but they basically tell their stories through this type of printmaking. You kind of have to see it for yourself to kind of like to get, I mean, I'm describing it really kind of like, you know, in a very unpolished way, but anyway, it's 1 to 5 on Sunday at Casa Casillas. Parking is limited, so just be ready for that if you are coming. We do expect a lot of people there. And then we also have coming up at Casa Casillas the following Sunday is Wasted Heart Market. I don't know if anyone went to the last one. It was really great. It's like a small kind of like art fair that we have at Casa Casillas. It's inside and outside. And there's, anyway, if you want to meet some really great local artists. Oh, I'm sorry, that's August 16, Sunday from 12 to 4. Parking again is limited because when I went, gosh, there was no parking anywhere, so I had to park down across from Aldi. It's a quick walk up the hill. It's not bad. But I really encourage you all to go. My other update is Art Fest planning is in full swing. You'll be happy to know that I did secure a mariachi band and a Philippine cultural performance. I am reaching out to School of Rock to get their performers because I would love to see them perform again. And the other thing kind of I'm happy to report is that we have a lot of vendors this year. A lot of vendors. I'm actually struggling. I'm over there across the street every day trying to find space, more booth space for people because it's just, and speaking of local artists, I've had to, the vendor applications who are not from San Diego, I've already eliminated, I'm sorry, they're like from the San Diego area. And so anyone from outside, I've already kind of automatically, I felt really bad because some of their booth proposals are really cool. Most of our vendors, I would say 90% are Chula Vista, South Bay, Magic City, but a lot of Chula Vista artists are coming in, so it's really exciting. Working on the food.
Yeah.
I know, that was a big ask. Working on the food, trying to see if we can expand it a little bit more, that area. So trying to work, hopefully, with the city managers to okay that we can get a little bit more room. So yeah, but I did listen to everyone's feedback about the food and everything. So I am taking that seriously because I myself had to kind of go, where am I going to eat? Where am I going to sit down? And like, where am I going to spread out the food? Yeah. Anyway,
Do you need support with getting more vendors to apply for food, or what's the?
I don't, because my, the event management company is doing it for me. They have a lot of, they're just asking, okay, what do you want, what else do you want? But I do have a lot of dessert vendors, I have a lot of dessert and beverage vendors, so that's another one I'm gonna have to kind of weed out, like, who I want to keep. Anyway, those are my updates. That's it.
Cool. I want tacos, but I don't want like 6 vendors who make tacos.
What about, are you getting, I mean, there's a lot of vendors here in Chula Vista. Are you getting vendors, also like local artists from Chula Vista, vendors from Chula Vista?
You mean the food?
Mhm.
Food? Yes, they are. You know, they're mostly ones who've already been on kind of like on the event circuit, and so they've already pounced on this one. They just put in their applications for it. So yeah, depending on like how much what I get, yeah, I may have to start doing other outreach, or have the event company do a little bit more deeper outreach than the usual circuit vendors.
You go on like easily food to go there, like all collective. It's right there.
Yeah.
If you need the airspace at KSI, I can get that again too.
Yeah. Any?
Good.
Got it. Thank you, Erwin. Moving on to number 7, chair's comments. Okay, I'm gonna try and cover a couple of things. The first one is, I hope everybody got an opportunity to go to Comic-Con, a huge opportunity, like culture in our backyard. Yes, it's not in Chula Vista, but we were trying to make sure we absorbed as much as possible from Comic-Con and supported artists that I found that were from the area. That was cool. And congratulations to Commissioner Kosi on having a big booth there. And for whatever success you had, it was nice to see you at Comic-Con as well. And I saw Commissioner Muraoka as we walked by. They
I
have
saw
a-
it too.
Yeah, I just
I ran into him in the elevator in the parking lot.
Oh, that's amazing. So what's really neat is his wife does a bunch of teachers do like a youth arts booth there every year. That's really neat. So if you guys come to Comic-Con at some point in the future, you should check them out. Commissioner Muraoka can let you know what the name of it is, but it's really cool. Like they make their own puppets. It's really neat.
Was that, is it on the main floor, is that on the mezzanine?
It's on the main floor on the back, kind of by, they have like tables kind of towards the,
Okay, yeah, there's a small press exhibit.
yeah, it's near Small Press.
Okay.
It's very cool. I got to talk to them last time. I didn't get to catch them this time though. So Comic-Con. Second thing is, I am sad to announce that Commissioner Brady has stepped down from the commission. So we will be searching for a person to replace her in her seat, which expires, when does it expire? I don't know. It's one of the many that we are hoping to fill.
Next year.
Was that next year? Thank you. The third thing that I wanted to acknowledge is Commissioner Kosi, Vice Chair currently Kosi, was acknowledged at the boards and commissions. We had the boards and commissions night, which was really nice. It was nice to see a couple of you there. But Commissioner Kosi was recognized for his service, presuming that at some point he would leave the commission before the next boards and commissions thing. So they acknowledged his service up to this point, and we want to recognize our thanks for your work since you've been here. We appreciate you. The final thing that I wanted to point out is the Otawara. I'm sad that Commissioner Muraoka wasn't here tonight, but the Otawara thing is very soon. They get here on the 11th. So if there's anybody that wants to help out with any of the aspects, any of the programming aspects, there is a welcome party on the 12th, and I believe is that the potluck?
Mm-hmm. Right, it was
Oh,
changed.
was it moved?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there were changes.
There were changes.
Yeah.
So if we could get updates, because I'm looking through my email and I don't have any of the changes in my email.
I just
So-
updated it. It is the 13th. No, I'm sorry, you're right, the 12th.
The 12th, okay.
No, that's the Padres game.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
That's the Padres game is real.
But that is the Ottawa, the Youth Ambassadors Padres game. And then the potluck is the 13th.
got it.
Yes, the 13th.
13.
At
And it's
6.
City Hall.
The court card.
And the city hall.
It's the same place.
Same place where the boards and commissions meeting was, yeah. Anyway, so I
What time?
encourage,
6 is what I saw. 6.
6.
so I encourage all of us to attend that, welcome our ambassadors, welcome back our Chula Vista ambassadors, and get to meet our Japanese ambassadors. But if there's an opportunity for you to participate in any of the programming while they're here, I encourage all of you to get involved. So hopefully we'll get another email from Commissioner Muraoka with more details. That's my report. Let's move on to our commissioners' comments. Number 8, let's start with Vice Chair Cliff.
So I sent you an introduction email, by the way, with Mario, the student from Chula Vista, who wants to do therapy of medicine. So hopefully you guys can coordinate or be interested in that. I think that would benefit him. I want to kind of double down on Comic-Con. If you guys have never been to Comic-Con, I highly recommend getting into it. Even if you don't go into Comic-Con proper, downtown San Diego is just
Teaming,
insane with stuff to do and see and interact with. There's lots of
library.
yeah. The library has a lot of panels. I think the library panels are free, right? Or
Yeah.
you need a pass to get those. Yeah, you can actually go to the San Diego City Library and get educational panels. And keep in mind, like I said, Comic-Con is
Couldn't take it anymore.
she's already sorry.
We'll get it at the end if you, okay.
Don't worry.
You got it, you got it.
Here, I got
Look at
Just
you.
short
Hey,
clips.
look at
Very
that.
good, thank
We
you.
are a tool using species.
yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Comic-Con is a 501c3. So they do have certain allotments of badges that people can apply for at the professional aspect. So check their requirements. If not, definitely also just try to do the public registration and, best of luck on the lottery. Which, by the way, they also have press passes. So I don't know if covering city government qualifies, but it can't hurt to apply.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, like again, it's they're trying to educate people on popular arts and reading and literacy, which is also why the libraries get their passes. But yeah, it's a huge event, and it's a huge economic impact on the city of San Diego. And we're actually going to start getting some spillover now with the hotels. So, but also I think that if we can figure out something, like one of the things I was thinking of is we've been having a discussion off and on about Pangea. It's coming up to that stage where hopefully they'll decide, or the developer will submit plans. But being able to recommend to the city that that we can try to get some art that's used in the Pangea complex and the hotels that are planned for that facility. And then also a lot of that will be if we can get if they have
spaces?
what's up?
Performing arts spaces?
Well, the thing is though, is like I don't think that with the Port Authority and stuff like that, like I've been pinging them and trying, but I do think that in discussions with the Port Authority and whatnot, it's trying to get public space is probably a no, it's a deal breaker essentially, because it's all being privately funded by developers who want to get their money back as quickly as possible. And they're not going to do that with public space. However, if you have venues and stuff where the city financially benefits with tourism taxes and hotels and things like that, then we end up with a situation how the San Diego Convention Center, where the city can hopefully host events And even, they've got hopefully the stadium and some of the arenas that they're talking about building, but those in conjunction with the amphitheater that we have, to be able to hold any kind of music festivals, things like that, that becomes a huge benefit culturally as well as economically to the city. I do want to make a motion though, that we try, when dealing with something like Pangea, that goes through the planning commission. So I think, I've been doing a lot of research trying to figure that out. There was I remember the discussion with Commissioner Brady about that. But I do think that, trying to figure out, like, can we send, or can I actually, just because I'm doing research and stuff, but I wouldn't mind going to the planning commission meetings and trying to see if there's some way that the Cultural Arts Commission can possibly work with the planning commission in a liaison kind of way or whatever to actually try to integrate some cultural art programming into stuff there. Because we also have the Parks and Recreation, holds art classes, things like that. It would be kind of cool to have something similar with them as well.
So are you suggesting a subcommittee from 3 commissions work together on trying to?
I think that would be awesome.
To benefit arts.
Yeah, so if there's even potential, I don't know what the legality of having, a 3-panel, basically planning commission, the Cultural Arts Commission, the Parks and Rec Commission, having an ad hoc committee that joins all 3 so that they can periodically meet, see what's going on, and just kind of keep each other informed and see where we can benefit. I think it would do the city a lot of good to be able to incorporate these existing commissions and have them interact and work with each other.
So we can, I don't know if you have an instant, I'm guessing you don't have an instant answer for that.
I do. I don't think an avenue for that currently exists. I think that would have to be a policy change with council. It's not, as far as I'm concerned, it's not really written in the duties and abilities of these commissions, but it doesn't try. I mean,
But you can attend the recommendation.
I was gonna ask that, is it possible for me, well, I would have to make a motion though, for me to attend the meetings, not as a citizen, but as a member of this commission, to kind of just see things and
For
possibly.
the Ports Planning Commission?
Not for the ports, but for the city of Chula Vista.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't see.
Okay.
So I think that there was a shift in topic.
Yeah,
in the middle
but,
of
sorry,
his-
ADHD kicked in.
So he was originally talking about Pangea and the port, and then
Yeah.
he shifted after that, hey, if we can't get anything in Pangea, let's talk about the idea of trying to find opportunities to create public theater spaces or like performance art spaces or whatever, music spaces, blah, 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 in Chula Vista through the Chula Vista, is what I was hearing.
Yes.
So,
I speak ADHD.
yeah, no, that was clear. I think what I wasn't sure of is what you plan on doing once you're there.
It's mostly gathering intelligence. So, sorry.
He's
Yeah, yeah.
definitely not a spy.
What's up?
You're definitely not a spy, but.
Yeah, it's basically just trying to get, hear what they're doing, see if there's anything that works with us, possibly just verbalize or make suggestions,
That's the
take
public
notes
meeting.
and come here and,
Right.
and share what I've learned or what I express. And see if anybody here has feedback and then possibly go back again next month and do it again.
So
They meet
what I,
twice a month. by the way.
so what I'm hearing, they meet twice a month?
Yeah.
Fancy. So what I am hearing is that you would like to be an ambassador for our commission
Yes.
on behalf of the commission at potentially at the Parks and Rec meetings / the city planning commission meetings.
Primarily city planning, but yes.
Primaries, okay. So that is a question that we might need to put on an agenda for
It might be,
future
yes, if you're
discussion.
gonna represent.
Yes.
So one
We
thing,
have to
other
say
thing,
what
the
are you
other thing
talking
you could
about,
do,
too.
the other thing you can do is do public comment. You could say that I am a member of the Cultural Arts Commission. I am speaking as a citizen.
Okay.
And that way, it is noted that you are a Cultural Arts Commissioner, but you're speaking as yourself.
That's typically what,
So I can basically say that I'm speaking as an individual,
as a citizen,
as
yes.
a citizen of Chula
As a
Vista.
resident of Chula Vista.
And
And you can say that I'm a member of the Cultural Commission.
It's more like a resume than a
So it's
ambassador
not so
situation.
much they're representing the commission as a
Yeah.
whole,
But-
but I would very much like to get information from you guys so I can get back on my commission.
Because I'm not here to
Discuss it.
There was no, I don't know, that
There was
means,
no
there was
pre-discussion and
yeah, action
vote on
item
what you're
that-
gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it might be okay to put to staff to agendize a future discussion on the idea of trying to make dinging sounds in the middle of my
Good call.
sentences. No, I'm just kidding. But the idea of trying to work cooperatively with other relevant commissions to achieve more art in Chula Vista. So I would love to entertain a motion to agendize that for a future meeting to discuss the legalities and what would the process be if we wanted to create a subcommittee of commissions.
And before we do that, I saw you jumping up and down. Did you have
Well,
feedback
no,
for that
you
topic?
can't,
or-
this is not,
Oh, okay.
in terms
You
of,
seem really excited.
I'm excited that he's excited, but like at this point, we need.
Yeah,
other
okay, I would love to do that.
Okay, so I'm hearing a motion to agendize a future discussion on the legal,
Figuring out if we can create
figuring out if we can
a
create
three-commission ad hoc committee.
with the Parks and Rec and the Planning Commission and the Cultural Commission. I hear a motion, is there a second on that motion? Is anybody interested in this? This is your last chance.
Your
to
last
second
chance.
something.
Good. There you go.
I hear, okay, I love it.
There
Woo.
we go.
It has been moved by Commissioner Kosi and seconded by Commissioner Ruffalo to agendize future discussion on the logistical possibilities of a three-commission ad hoc committee, including Parks and Rec, Planning, and the Cultural Arts Commission. Go ahead and take the vote, unless there's further discussion on the matter. Okay.
Commissioner Posey,
Aye.
Commissioner Walker is absent. Commissioner Ruffalo? Commissioner Sablan?
Aye.
Commissioner Bishop?
Aye. Okay, so we'll agendize that for a future meeting.
And then before I wrap up my comments, thanks for coming. It's really awesome to have an audience.
I know, that's so
And
cool.
I love your shirt,
Learning.
especially since that was filmed in Chula Vista.
Yes, it comes out tomorrow.
What's that?
It comes out tomorrow.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay. Thank you, Vice Chair Kosi. Commissioner Ruffalo.
I don't have much to say other than I'm going to miss working with you all. It's been really a pleasure and entertainment. Thank you, Robert. Don't always agree, but you know, it's good entertainment. It breaks up the. Sometimes the meetings are a little slow, so it's good.
So sorry. I'll
But,
tap dance next time.
But it's been a pleasure, and I hope that once I'm done with school, I can come back to serving my community and the Cultural Arts Commission. Or I'm bummed that I didn't get to carry out that whole, help with the whole food and fest. I really have this big vision, but I'm gonna leave it to you.
You know, you're still a citizen. You can still
You can still
come in and ping and be like, hey,
do this thing.
If I can, I will.
you know, there's an email,
She's gonna
right?
be,
You
she's
can
gonna be in
email
law
the
school,
city.
give her a break.
I spoke to my counselor today, and she was like, well, good luck, you're gonna be up to your eyeballs with studies, and I was like, that makes me feel good. So I found out my courses today, so that's why I didn't know, and I thought, well, I'm not gonna delay, I'm just gonna start removing things off my plate, because I started like 2.5 weeks.
So it's a good decision, speaking from experience.
Smart.
As a lawyer, he's like, you know what? Good
Right.
call.
I love what I do, and I feel like this is the next best thing I can do for the community and for myself, and to be able to help my community and my clients. But I also have a senior who just got picked up for varsity football, and I'm like, it's gonna be one of those years. It's like, no. So, but it's good. It's good. I hope to come back and serve my community still. So,
Well, as the chair, I'd like to acknowledge your work on this commission. We've appreciated having you with us. We love hearing your voice. And I love that we had a voice for the culinary arts. And we will not forget that. As we move forward, we will try and pretend like you're still in the room with us. But thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
I mean, that's your big hitters waiting, so hopefully,
Love it.
hopefully that happens, but we'll see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You Supervisor Shida, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I think, Erwin, I'm not sure if you got an email yesterday, from Diego Sandoval. He's like kind of like one of my coworkers, but he's working on a project with Tina Matias from Single Communities. I'm not sure if you've heard of her.
I know Tina, yes.
Yeah. So, he was actually referred to you to, propose like a, kind of like a project to the commission as a whole, but he specifically wanted to get to you first from like another contact that he got. But it was on kind of like doing like sustainable kind of like painting projects on the utilities, kind of like that. So I know that was something that we actually discussed like in like some past meetings. But I know that he was really discussing about it, and it would be kind of like a project with some sustainable communities and a couple of other like local organizations. So I was just wondering like if you may have heard of that, and just to kind of like put kind of like information to kind of like maybe like you guys maybe because maybe like what are your opinions, like if you maybe be able to start consider that in the future. But yes, and then also I think kind of like regarding kind of like the subcommittees that we talked about, it would also be great to have one with like the cultural arts and the sustainable committee of like the city, just because I think that's like really like intersectional and there's like a lot of like connection between those two. And I actually prefer to Diego the environmental committee as well, just because it's kind of like that project as well. But it's also with the arts, so it's kind of like like it involves a lot of stuff. But yeah, and just thank you so much, thank you for everything, and we really appreciate like everything you did for our committee. And I think that's everything that I say.
She's gonna be a lawyer too. Oh, yeah, I bet. Love it. Okay,
If I may, just related to that, doesn't SDSU have an arts transformers program? Or SDSU, SDG?
SDG, yeah.
I think they do,
Yeah.
and it would be kind of cool to actually work with them.
Yeah, they
I don't know if it's
did.
current.
Yeah.
I did not.
I know they used to, but a program for actually hiring artists, local artists to do stuff on that. So it might be interesting to see if they still do.
Yeah, I know they work with sustainability, and they funded a lot of projects, but I don't know if it's where they are right now.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Saban.
First off, thank you for the opportunity. I'm excited to learn, to serve, and working on my perfect attendance. Get it on. But my first comment is, whatever training there is going to be good. It'd be great for the roles and responsibilities of the vice chair.
Okay.
That'd be wonderful. The second is anything from the Art Fest comms that you can share. So we can then share out to our network or something that is something that we can definitely help on that part. And then with Commissioner Ruffalo, first off, thank you and congratulations. I'm really excited. I know where to go when we've got the but more like it actually causes a little bit of a panic in me, and I wanted to just kind of call it out that with her leaving, that leaves 4, and I'd like to see a little bit more of an aggressive push for recruiting. Something that we've been talking about, maybe along here and there as things we're going to need to start recruiting a little more aggressively. I'm not sure what that looks like or what we can do or what the staff can do to help us kind of promote and start to bring that to people. I know there's the website has all the openings. I get that, but it's like I think we're going down to nothing. So I'm not sure what that can look like, but
So from what I understand, You are not the only commission that is,
Like
needs,
blind.
yeah, it's everyone, and so there's a pause right now, and I think that there are a lot of applications that are in line, and so, it's not that they're not there, it's just right now because there are a lot of changes going on, things are a little bit paused, so once that is unpaused, should get
Open season.
Your concerns are why I flexed and basically, there's a rule that states that if your term expires, you can hang on until the commission is full.
Which is why he's still here.
Hence why I'm still here.
Okay.
So, do we know how, so our commission is not one that is affected by the new rule about how the commissions are filled, correct? Like the other commissions are affected by it's being taken away from the mayor and given to the city council, right? Yeah.
Correct.
So our commission is not that, right? Because we're based on like we qualify based on our professions and whatnot, right?
at large professional.
So we are not on the freeze.
We're not affected by the new rules, but there's still a general pause, right?
So as a general class, we are actually moving forward now.
Okay,
Um,
because a lot of this is happening in
So
church.
now the available applications are being sent to the nominating authorities, and the process is beginning again.
Okay.
We anticipate that in the next couple of months, we'll start seeing appointments.
Great.
Okay.
It does take, it is a lengthy process, there's gotta be reviews of applications, interviews, and choosing the best candidate. Then it goes to council, and council has to approve it.
Got it.
Then we have to have the commissioners sworn in, and then they can start sorting. So it does take a while, but we are starting to move forward.
And the window for applications is kind of ongoing based on if there's any
Correct.
available seats, yeah.
Yeah.
So how many seats do we have open on our commission? 5?
6 now.
6 now. 5 today, 6 tomorrow.
So that means, and do we have an ample amount of nominees, or should we start pushing it?
As of this morning, we have 10 applications, 10 qualified applicants.
Okay, so probably push it. Okay,
Alright.
all right.
Might be good that I go reporting for some commissioners.
I know.
That'd be good. That's all. Thank
It
you
was a
very-
squeaker too.
Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Okay, hearing no more,
Before we do, so I did just a quick AI check, honestly. So SDG does still have the program. They actually facilitate it through an organization called Artreach, which if you're not familiar
Oh,
with,
yeah.
Artreach is a huge program. I know you're familiar because we've got your own. But it's actually an art charity in San Diego that I do a lot of work with. But yeah, they function all over San Diego County and they work with the school system, which is school district. But it's a group called Artreach. Might be interesting to ping them and basically see if they need artists or anything for that project.
Thank you.
great, thanks for that connection. Our next meeting is a regular meeting on September 12th, 2020, September 2nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. I call this meeting adjourned at 7:42 p.m. That happened, y'all. Yes.
Exit first, that's never.
I should have taken the
What's that?
I would at least get to the
It was great. Is there-
You did, you gonged it.
I don't. Unfortunately, I was actually.
Always. ABC.
I feel horrible, I wasted the city work.
I know, yes. I'm excited about that.